in my career, in what could have been the absolute worst night, in what was literal hell. I was not cynical. I was not jaded. I stood. I fought.
You fucking mock!
These people, these are all my people because they acknowledge me. You think you know me?
Welcome to the show where we talk anything and everything wrestling. Welcome to the 123 podcast. How are you guys doing today? Yes, we're not clapping. I'm not in my usual setup because I just got off a mind fuck of an online class, and I also just got off of watching probably the last AEW Dynamite episode I'll be watching my entire life. Because fuck me, man. Like fuck me. Because the Young Bucks actually showed the footage from All in London, where fucking Jungle Jack and CM Punk infamously got on a brawl, right? And like, I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to feel, to be perfectly honest. Like, I'm confused, but at the same time, I'm just disappointed and pissed. I'm not even sure if those words do what I'm feeling justice right now, but I just don't know how to describe it because, like, I don't know what this is for. I really don't know. What's the aim of the Young Bucks showing the footage from an event from last year? Like, what's the point? I seriously don't get the point behind it. Like, are they that petty that Punk came on Ariel Helwani's show and fucking slandered their name because their boss literally has no balls? Like, what does this aim to do? Like, when I saw the footage, as did everyone else, I clearly saw that Jack was the aggressor, right? Because Punk just like approached Jack after the match, and he was like, "Oh yeah, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit and all that?" Just like how Punk explained it on Ariel Helwani's show. But like, this makes Punk look more like a badass than Jack. Like, I don't get it. I legit don't get what AEW's point is here. Like, what do they want to show? Like, oh, our company is where the best wrestle, and oh, the guy that recently left our company, who happens to be one of the biggest stars that we had that we fumbled, is the quote unquote problem and all that. Like, is that what they're trying to like prove? Because that's not what they showed. That's really not what they showed. Like, it literally just showed that AEW is such a company out of control. It shows that AEW is a company where the boss doesn't even act like a boss. He does not even act like a boss, man. Like, what? I seriously just don't know what this proves. And I just just don't even care to like find out what this proves because like I just don't know what happened to this company, man. I legit just don't know. Like I seriously don't know what's going on. Like are they that petty that one of AEW's former big stars came on Ariel Hawani's show and fucking stated his side of his story? Like, are they that fucking petty? And come on, like the Young Bucks even described Punk as someone who goes into business for himself. And they were like, "Oh, if you have a problem with Jack Perry, then there's a big chance that you're the problem and all that." Like, God, like this is literally all friends wrestling, man. Like all friends wrestling. All friends wrestling. And what's even worse was that they're trying to incorporate this in the storyline with FTR. Like, huh? Like, what's Young Bucks saying? What are the Young Bucks saying? Oh, FTR's the mastermind behind. Oh, the Young Bucks losing because they had an off day because of that brawl and all that shit. Like, what? Oh my. This is literally. This is literally the most confusing and at the same time most infuriating thing that I've ever heard from a fucking wrestling company, man. Like, oh my god. Like, if their goal was to like, oh, we want to embarrass Punk after what he said on Ariel Hawani's show, we want to show everyone that oh, Punk was the problem and all that. Oh, it's not Jack who's the problem. Oh, it's Punk's problem. And in the WWE, they're gonna have a problem because Punk's there already, and here he's gonna be starting a lot of backstage shit. But no, no. They didn't do that. Instead, they made their company look even more bad, man. Like, oh my god, they made their company look so much worse than it already do. They made their company look so much worse than they already do. Oh my god. This is the fucking worst. Like, we're 4 months into the year. And we already got this, bro. Like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, man. Like, professional wrestling is at an all-time high, man. Like, AEW, like, is at an all-time low with all this backstage shit that they're pulling and all that stuff, them crumbling down to the ground. Meanwhile, WWE is thriving, making multiple numbers in terms of merch, in terms of attendance, in terms of viewership. They're garnering lots and lots of people. And that's because Triple H works the way he works, right? Like, from his standpoint, oh yeah, he was a wrestler and all that. He was in the thick of it back in the Attitude Era. So he knows what he feels like. So he knows what he feels when you're in the middle of like something, right? When you're starting something new, something that's groundbreaking in professional wrestling. So he works the way he works, right? He has good friends in the company. Like, he does for sure. But he still has that authoritative side, right? He still has that side. He's the boss. He's the boss of everyone in the company. When you're outside of the company, yeah, you guys are good friends, but when you're inside the company, it's boss and employee. It's that connection. Meanwhile, over on the other side, we have a fucking nice guy leading the fucking company. We have a fucking nice guy running the company. Not even a boss. Like, I get it, yeah. Tony Khan might be a really genuine guy. Like, I get it. He's a fan. He's a lifelong fan of the business, and I can see that. But come on. Separate your friends from work. Separate that relationship from work. Because if you don't, shit like this happens. Shit like this transpires, man. And everyone's wondering, oh, why AEW is garnering the lowest attendance for a Dynamite. Oh, the lowest attendance for a Rampage. Why Collision is failing. I seriously am so disappointed at Tony Khan and everyone in AEW. Because, like, why is this happening? And you know what's the worst part? There's another worst part to this. There was a worst part, there was an even worse part. The worst part is, after the fucking Young Bucks showed the tape, FTR came out to the ring and fucking like, oh, the Young Bucks are trying to take away our dream of working for a professional company where we have fun and all that shit. Like, what the fuck is happening, bro? What the oh my. I'm legit clutching my head right now because like I do not know what's happening to the company at this point. I seriously just don't. And fuck me. I am just. I'm confused. I am disappointed. I am pissed. I am just. What happened with this company, man? What's happened to this company? Like, I'll admit, like, for a time being, I really thought, like, oh, it was Punk who's the problem and all that, but once I really, like, got into, like, went into, like, a much deeper, like, dive into, like, the whole situation, thanks to Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, when he made that video about CM Punk's stay in AEW, that really like changed my entire perspective on like changed a few of my like perspective on like the whole fiasco with CM Punk. And that changed me. Like that changed my view on like, oh yeah, well I guess Punk isn't just the one in the wrong here. Like, Punk is still in the wrong. Like, he could have handled it way better. He could have handled it way more professionally. Like, I get that. But AEW's not entirely at fault here. Like, they played a big role as to why this happened. They really did. And it's such a shame. It's such a shame because like back in 2019, it was WWE that was in AEW's place. It was them garnering the lowest viewership, the lowest ratings. They have the shit storylines. They have low locker room morale because of Vince McMahon. And AEW was thriving. Oh, they had Cody Rhodes, they had Chris Jericho as the world champion. They had fucking Orange Cassidy like popping off because of his work in AEW. You have MJF, who's an up and coming star, who's a future world champion at the time. And you have a company at that time. AEW still had that locker room morale of like, oh, I don't want to work in the WWE. I want to work with AEW because like they have creative freedom and they could just be themselves and all that shit. A few years later, man. A few years later. How the fucking turntables, man. How the fucking turntables. And seriously, like, it's such a shame. It's really just such a shame that AEW is like this. From what was once a promising company that gave everyone the opportunity to like showcase their abilities the best that they can in uh in a much wider reach. Like with a reach just as wide as the WWE. And what's happened? What the fuck's happened with AEW? We have all this shit like, oh, fucking Hangman going off script with what he and Punk planned for their promo before Double or Nothing. You have Brawl Out. You have fucking Andrade and Sammy Guevara brawling before and all that shit before Andrade left AEW to go back to the WWE. You have fucking Eddie Kingston like having brawls with having fights with Sammy Guevara as well. Like, yeah, I get it. Those are like from back then, but still. But still, those things still happened in AEW. But that's a story for another day. Going back, you have all that shit happening, plus this whole fiasco with the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and CM Punk. Like, it's literally like, it's literally just a mind fuck moment. It's literally just a mind fuck moment. It's AEW that's having the low locker room morale right now. The WWE has the highest locker room morale ever because of Triple H. And I just don't mean to like compare both companies, but you just couldn't help but do it because like I said earlier, like it was WWE that's in AEW's place back in 2018, 2019. And now what happened? God, man, like I am so fucking confused. I am so fucking disappointed. And I am so fucking pissed. Man. You know what? Let's just end it there, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed. This is just like a little rant that I want to do. A little surprise episode that I want to do. Because, like, I haven't released an episode this year and all that. So, this is probably just like my little excuse to finally make an episode. Because I haven't done one in a while. I actually recorded one episode during the whole week that I had no classes. but I ultimately scrapped that because it didn't really turn out the way that I want to. So, yeah. I'll end this episode with a little bit of this. AEW put all of this to themselves. And it's such a shame. It's literally such a shame that AEW has gone to absolute shits. So there. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope y'all enjoyed. I gotta go take a rest for a bit because like I still got a lot of things to do. So yeah, I'm going back to schooling because that's what good kids do. That's what good people do. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm going back to the things that I'm doing. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope y'all enjoyed. This has been JM. This has been the 123 podcast. Don't be a nice guy in a company where you need to be a boss. Alright? Peace.